Let me ask a doctor in the house, which is why I brought her in. Okay. So from what Blessing is saying, she discovered when the first time she went to the doctor, as she said, it was a lump and they told her it was non-cancerous, right?
Yes, yes.
She goes back there 6, 7, 8 months later, yeah. And that's how she discovered that it was cancer stage 4. So for you, as a doctor, what are the procedures that, what would you like to ask her concerning how she got from that level to the stage 4 level?
First of all, I'm very interested to know what type of doctor you saw, because there's a lot of disparity that I don't expect in medical personnel.
Okay, what are disparities?
So first of all, when a patient comes to me and complains of a lump, I will not do a biopsy first. I will first do an imaging. So I'll tell you to either do an ultrasound scan if you're less than 40, you're 35, 40. Then if you're above 40, you can do a mammogram before we get to the biopsy. And if you then do a biopsy, depending on what we're suspecting based on your history, you either do a fine needle aspiration cytology or a core biopsy, right? And after that, even if, because what you're describing kind of sort of sounds like you did a fine needle aspiration cytology, right? Even at that, no doctor on the surface of this earth that is qualified would allow a patient to move around with a lump in their breast for 6 months, because you don't know. Even if you do a fine needle aspiration cytology, they can be false negative. There's a very high chance of it being false negative. So you can never tell unless you remove the lump and you do a proper biopsy of the lump.
So what are the consistencies in her story?
So I find it very interesting that so I'm interested to know the type of doctor you saw. What type of doctor?
It's an oncologist.
Okay, so now fantastic. So I work in a teaching hospital. We don't send patients to an oncologist unless you have a biopsy, core biopsy result.
But you haven't had
because usually you start with a general surgeon. General surgeon will establish the fact that it is cancerous, and oncologist is not the first person. Based on the fact that you even said, the person said it is not cancerous, no doctor will send you. That's why I'm interested to know the doctor. No doctor will send you to an oncologist with a non-malignant result.
Like I said, you go into the hospital, I noticed a lump on my boobs.
Was it Lagos or Enugu? Because I
was in Enugu.
Okay.
So I went into the hospital.
Was it a teaching hospital?
No, it wasn't a teaching hospital. It was a private hospital.
Okay, and it has an oncologist. That private hospital has an oncologist.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So walking into the hospital, you go to a normal doctor. I don't even know what they're called, but you went to a doctor, he examined, he found the lumps.
Okay.
That was when he said,